Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Persona 3 FES. In the last episode, we completed our 5th full moon operation. While the whole team was taking on the dangers of the Hermit Arcanum, Junpei ended up getting himself captured by Chidori, all because he told Chidori that he was the leader of Seas, which was an utter and complete lie. Although that all did happen right before the full moon actually set in. So, after we took on the Hermit Arcana, we ended up saving Junpei from the clutches of Chidori, and we actually ended up capturing her, although we didn't throw her in jail or anything like that. We're just watching over her at the hospital and making sure she's okay, since, we definitely do need to get some answers from her, and this is going to be the best way to get any kind of answers about Stragum. But, we did get a little bit of information from her, due to the fact that we found out that, that her persona Media is actively trying to kill her. We also found that Stragum, but also Shinjiro, take suppressants to stop their personas from forming if they really need to do that, which, with the first thing, I'm pretty sure that's the whole reason why the suppressants are a thing. And for the final thing, we also found out the sad truth that was the cut that Junpei found on Chidori not a couple episodes ago. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of sad things that we found out about Chidori. But, with all that being said, we now make our way to the next block of the Tartarus, since today's episode is going to be another Tartarus-based episode, and we're going to be making our way into the 4th block of 6, also known as the Saiza block. So, with that all being said, let's now officially make our way in there. And if you're wondering who we're going to be using for today, we're using Shinjiro, Akihiko, and Ken. So, with that, two of our members going to be their first time going into the Tartarus. Well, Shinjiro has been in here before, but not with our team as of now. So, honestly, let's do this. The path to the next floor is blocked. The pathway is now becoming unobstructed. With that, we're officially on the 4th block. Now we just need to make our way up the stairs, and we're officially there. So, let's see what it ends up looking like, since I haven't actually seen it yet. So, honestly, it's interesting. It looks like like a golden, honestly, like a vault, basically. It's kind of cool.
Something seems very different about this floor. The enemies are different too. I'll scan the floors above you. Please give me some time.
Okay, and with Fuka's, little thing saying she needs more time, we'll give her that, since, as we know, it's going to take her multiple floors to actually figure out what she'll actually end up finding. So, with that, we're going to be using my new, persona, which is Dionysus, and we're actually going to be, trying out some, new skills here, since these are all skills I've never got to use before. So, honestly, I've used them in Persona 4 and 5, but in this game I haven't got to use them yet, so it's just nice in general. Honestly, not a bad-looking place, to be completely honest. I actually really like the, layout of this, specific block, to be honest. And I believe, based on what I read, the Saiza block actually means drought, which is actually kind of interesting. Or, not block, but Saiza in Hebrew means drought for some reason. Don't know if that's what it's supposed to mean in this game, but definitely, good to know. Okay, so killer drives. Interesting. I don't remember what these guys were weak to in Persona 4, because I think these are different variations than the ones we saw in Persona 4. Because we saw the other guy, the wild drives, but I don't think we've ever seen killer drives before, so I'm gonna go Zyodyne here just cuz, and it seems like that's fine, and also this block is buggy as everything could possibly be. Okay then, good to know. Okay then, good thing we don't stay in battles for too long, because yeah, that's a little, interesting. That block on, you can see which triangle, there's a little triangle where Ken is, and that's flickering like, no one's business, honestly, but kind of funny, honestly. Also, I completely forgot that Ken and Akihiko both use electric attacks, so technically they kinda don't work together, but honestly, we can still use them, there's no reason not to. Okay, so I see a gold coin that I want, so I'm gonna get that one, since, I didn't see the 6 number, that would have been actually better to grab, actually. But, honestly, yeah, definitely an interesting place. I wish the, battle area wasn't bugged out, but definitely cool looking.
Can you go up a little higher? I'm having trouble sensing what's ahead.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely continue. Oh, there's a staircase right next to us. Okay, we'll fight off with one shadow, since that's what we did in the last one, when we found the stairs almost immediately. I like how we find the stairs immediately when I'm, like, doing videos with you guys, but when I'm, like, training on the other floors in, like, you know, how I tell you I train in between episodes and stuff like that. I like how I can't find the stairs, and it's, like, the last thing I find on a floor. Definitely interesting, honestly. Okay, so I see a 5, so I'm gonna grab that since I didn't see a 6 again. But honestly, interesting. But yeah, definitely cool that we finally are getting to use Shinjiro, honestly, since Shinjiro was an interesting character from the start. And I was wondering if we were ever gonna get to play as him, and it ended up being the case, which is actually really cool. But the thing is, although we are using Shinjiro, Ken, and Akihiko, I did say something in the last episode that is kind of weird, because of the fact that Ken only learns abilities up to level 42, which I kind of did, made a deduction that maybe he's the first one to awaken his persona, but I don't know, honestly, because, yeah, level 42 is, like, really early for his final ability for Nemesis, to be honest, but it is interesting, though.
I sent something. But I need more time to determine exactly where it is. Please proceed cautiously.
Okay, we'll definitely proceed cautiously. Ooh, free shadow. Definitely nice to see, but interesting. Also, was there something pink on my screen behind me? I don't know if that was, actually just my mind playing tricks on me, but I thought I saw something to be completely honest, on the minimap. I hope I didn't, but I thought I did, honestly, to be completely honest. I hope I didn't, to be completely honest, because if I did, that means, you know... What was that? It grabbed the card and then flipped it around. Okay, that was weird, I've never seen that before. But yeah, if I did see something, that means you know who's behind me. Okay, there is nothing behind me, okay, because I've never seen, the Reaper actually spawn yet, so I don't know what he looks like on the minimap. All I know is that he actually does show up on the minimap. So, yeah, definitely don't know what it's gonna look like, but I am kind of scared for when we end up actually running into him. Okay, so this is gonna be the red enemies of this floor. Interesting, enemies, honestly. Honestly, I'm gonna go for insta-kill since we have the high odds for this. And honestly, it's only, like, one of his only abilities, so let's just use it since, oh, it ended up being weak to it, okay. So the enemies of this floor for the biggest ones, when it comes to the shadows, ends up being, weak to our buddy Ken here. That's good to know, actually. Interesting. Honestly, Ken's not bad when it comes to, like, battles, honestly. Like, yeah, he doesn't have many, abilities, but Shinjiro doesn't either. So, what they do have is actually not bad, for the most part, because Hamion is really, really good. And, well, he could have more abilities like, elemental abilities that could help in battle. He definitely doesn't have, like, the worst of, like, abilities in the game. Like, what do you call it? For instance, there's never been a bad character on our team. And honestly, all of them have been, like, pretty cool. They all have their own, like, little niches that they fit into, which is really, really cool. Which wasn't the case in Persona 4, and didn't seem to be the case in Persona 5. So it's actually cool that every single character has their own little place they fit into, and actually have, like, specific abilities set for what you want and what you need at that specific time, instead of, oh, I have this elemental ability, use me. Which is technically something you would do, but I always like using any character we can possibly get. But honestly, yeah, it's very interesting. I actually really like that.
I know where it is now. It's the 102nd floor. Please be, aware.
Or 22nd floor. Okay, so with that being said, I'll see you all on the 122nd floor if Fuka's right, and we'll be on our first boss fight of 2, more than likely. Which I don't know for sure, but... Actually, yeah, definitely so. So with that, I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, now that we're on the 122nd floor, and Fuka was actually right, it was actually on that floor. Because sometimes she gets it wrong, and then she's like, oh, it's actually closer, or it's actually further. So, now that we're actually here...
There are 3 shadows in the middle. be careful.
And with that, with a nice little bit of careful warning, we're going to be now making our way to the 3 guardians of our first area. Honestly, oh, it's 3 arcane turrets. Interesting. These guys weren't that bad in Persona 4, but honestly, I don't know how they would be in this game.
Good luck.
And actually, I fought off with one of these as a normal shadow on this floor, so honestly, I think we might know what it's weak to, but I don't know, it might have changed it, to be honest.
There's no ordinary enemy. Don't let your guard down.
Okay. So it is arcane turrets. So it's got the same name, but the thing is I don't think it's going to have the same weakness, since they do seem to change them, and I noticed that, so I would go for Zyodine here, but I don't think it's a good idea. Okay, so honestly, I'm going to switch it up here, since I don't think Dionysus would be a good fit for this one specifically, so honestly, let's go to Ku, since I know that he's going to be good in general, so we can go for the moderate Kajas anyways, since that's something we should always set up just in case, because you never know what is going to be super dangerous here, and we do want to get as many like big attacks as we possibly can. And actually, Shinjiro has literally only got one thing he can do here, since status abilities like this actually don't work on boss fights, so he literally can only do one thing. So who's going to attack first? That one in the back. Okay, so we'll go for him then. So, Fatal End on this guy, and do a little bit of damage we can possibly do, since all we can really do is just hit him, and they use physical, like, smashing type attacks. Okay, good to know. Okay, so I'm gonna go Sonic Punch here. I'm just gonna be completely honest, because we can go for crits here, and see if we can knock them down, and then we can maybe try and figure out what they might be actually weak to, because I wouldn't go for stuff like elemental attacks, but I have a feeling that because of the fact that they switch them up, they could be more weak to physical attacks than they are elemental for all of a sudden, because they're normally weak to electricity on the normal floors. So, let's see here. Try and think what we can do. We can try it. Here, we'll go for 1 and see what happens when we use electricity. I just don't want to, like, you know, do something and then find out, yeah, it blocked it. So, we could have wasted a turn there if we normally attacked. Okay, so far so good. I don't think I have anything that can attack everybody on the floor, but we can go for Twin Shot here, so maybe that's what we'll do. I think that would be the best possible thing. Or you can go Violent Assault, which wouldn't be too bad. So honestly, let's go Violent Assault, since that is heavy damage, and that would actually be good here. So not bad, 222 damage. Not bad, not bad. And then we'll just keep focusing one of them, and then try and go from there. I might end up going to try and do Megiddos, honestly, since that would be the best thing we can possibly do here, since medium almighty damage hits for pretty good damage when you actually have, like, any kind of stat boosting. Oh, they use Agidyne. That's good to know, since they have Mind Charge, so that could do some pretty nasty damage. And they actually do nasty damage on top of that. Interesting. Okay, and then you gotta start attacking this guy, since we are focusing one at a time, just so we're perfectly safe for the time being. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go and try and see if we can go for Mind Charges here. I think Dionysus had that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he does. Good. Okay, so we're gonna go for Megiddos and do like all-out attacks here, since we know that this is gonna do damage, and that would have been much smarter to do earlier. Interesting. Okay, which attacks first? Well, we won't be able to stop this guy from attacking, but we might be able to stop number 4 here, so let's go for him instead. Wait, I didn't even notice that, Shinjiro's, persona is literally a pogo stick with a horse head. I just noticed that. Okay then, that's interesting. Very, very interesting, but it's funny as well. Okay, Sonic Punch, still no crits, even though that's a high chance of actually, you know, critting. Oh, that's defense down for everybody. But thankfully they're going for Mind Charges, so we're perfectly safe, but it could have been dangerous if they had more to go with. I'm gonna go for this one since this one's lower, and since, honestly, we can get another one out of the way soon. Attack Revertation, which is technically bad, but I have a feeling we'll be able to get rid of another one of these in a second, so honestly, we just gotta, like, slowly whittle them down as much as we possibly can. And honestly, we can probably just go for a normal attack here, so let's just do that real quick, just to get rid of this guy. And we also got to see his knockout animation, which is pretty cool. which is actually reminiscent to when he knocked out those punks earlier when he saved us during his second, like, showing up in the story, which is actually kind of funny because he bashed his head into the tank, which was kind of funny. Okay, so honestly, this was not that hard of a fight, actually, to be completely honest. Not bad, honestly, but it did take a little bit of time to kind of whittle them down a little bit and actually get rid of all of them, but honestly, at least they did something more than some of the other fights we've done, since some of the other fights we knocked them down and then all that attack ended up destroying them instantly. So honestly, at least something happened. So honestly, I'll take whatever we can get, since it is interesting to see that they actually did put up a fight, unlike the other ones, because those ones just didn't seem like they had any weaknesses, from what I could tell. But we didn't have any elemental attacks to actually test what they were actually weak to be completely honest. And, ooh, free item. Might as well grab this. Yoink. Ooh, Balm of Life. I believe that, not revives, but heals everybody. So that could be nice at some point in the later future, but for now, we don't really need it, but it's honestly nice to have in general.
Something seems different about the enemies in that area. Please be careful.
Okay, and with that, we will try and be careful as much as we possibly can. And let's see if, this shadow over here takes us to where we want to be. Oh, another Arcana tank. And as I said, I know what these guys are weak to, so let's just use Ziodyne to just show you that it was actually weak to lightning, because it was. I've been waiting for this. Yeah, you have. Definitely have. But honestly, you haven't been waiting for it that long, since you've, in the original, like, when we first, like, started doing this, it made sense for you to say that, but honestly, you've been in Tartarus pretty much almost every, like, day at this point, so honestly, you've been doing quite a bit, so honestly, I guess you've just been waiting for the day to end at that point. Okay, so let's see here. That takes us back. This takes us to an item which we don't really need. I'm gonna go back this way, since I think this shadow, no, it didn't take us to where we needed to be, but it did take us to a suitcase. So at least that gave us something. Okay, so I'm guessing maybe this way? It does. Also, something I've noticed just now, whenever I've been doing this, I think, there's like a green hue that actually takes you to the stairs, which I didn't know about before, but I'm noticing right now, and every time I get near the stairs, I see this green hue, so I'm thinking that's might actually how you actually find the stairs, if you really are looking for them.
Give me a moment and I'll check to see what's beyond this floor. Sorry, no luck. Can you go up higher?
Yeah, I can try. So, I'll test it right now, so we don't have a way to go yet, but, oh, well, this definitely leads this way. But, oh, yeah, it definitely leads the way that I was thinking. Okay, so far so good, but I don't know for sure if that's actually how it works, since there's no way to completely test it yet. I'm gonna go for Heat Wave, since this attacks everyone, might as well. Since, honestly, it's gonna do a decent amount of damage, and that's critical on the 3 enemies. Okay, then. I didn't even know that had a high chance of critting, but interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so far so good. Grab these free 6, since honestly, 6 experience cards are not bad whatsoever, and honestly, not bad whatsoever after that. And also, one thing I've noticed is after I did that cut to get to the next, like, boss fight, as we did, I actually noticed that the Reaper cards aren't showing up as much, because after I did my cuts, I was getting Reaper cards, like, almost, like, constantly, which was weird.
Can you go up a little higher? I'm having trouble sensing what's ahead.
Yeah, of course. We can make our way a little bit higher for you. Hopefully you'll be able to try and figure out where we need to go next, but honestly, at this moment, I don't really know where our next floor is. Ooh, free item. Might as well grab that, since, you know, we can use it. Okay, so far so good. From what I can see, the green hue is on the upper area, so I'm gonna see if that's to prove my, like, kind of like deduction, because I think that's the case, because I've noticed it, but I don't know if it's actually the case. And is he wearing sneakers? I just noticed that just now. Okay, interesting. I didn't even know that before, but that's kind of weird on, you know, because isn't Dionysus supposed to be a Greek god? And, I don't think Greek gods wore, sneakers back in the day. Like, you know, like Nikes, like, pumps, basically. It's pretty weird, honestly. I'm gonna go Megiddo, since I don't actually know if these guys are weak to, so let's just be safe here and go for the Megado, and it ended up being what we needed to do. Cool. It actually works out, and actually, I didn't say it earlier, but I did notice the stairs over there, so it does seem to be the case. Might need to start using that to my advantage, because I didn't know that before. I wonder if that's just because, this specific, like, I didn't notice it because the other areas are, like, darker, and it's harder to see the green hue, and this is, like, a yellowish brown, so it's easier to see it. Or if I'm just getting, like, you know, getting confused and thinking that it's actually leading me to the right place.
I sent something, but it's going to take me some time to pinpoint its location.
Okay, and with that being said, I'll see you guys very shortly. I'm going to do another cut to get to the next area, since, as I said, I don't want to, like, hold you guys hostage in this, running through each and every single area, since, you know, there's a lot of floors here, so I'll see you guys once we get to probably the final boss fight of the first half of the Size of Block, so honestly, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Okay, now that we're on the 135th floor, and we're finally at the next, little boss area, so let's see what we got here.
There's a really powerful shadow near the middle. Be careful.
With that, we'll definitely be careful. Kind of getting lost here sometimes, because this place kind of gets, like, it's kind of like a maze sometimes when you're trying to actually find where you're going, when you, like, take those little, things for the actual, like, teleportation areas back and forth through the first floor and where you are. It definitely does, kind of, like, disorientate you, unlike, in Persona 4 or 5. You kind of get confused where you are at some points.
Here it comes.
And it looks like one of those little ice table enemies. So it's probably weak to fire, maybe?
It seems like it's exceptionally strong. It's an Arcana's magician.
That's definitely the case, because all those little tables are always, when it comes to those, there are always normally magician arcanas. Definitely haven't seen one of these guys on this floor, to be honest, or the Size of Block in general. So definitely, well, normally they don't have weaknesses on the final ones, but definitely would be fire if we were normally fighting it, right? Okay, so since we used Moderate Kaja, we're going to go for Rakunda here, since now that there's only one enemy, it's easier to kind of actually send on stat boosting and, like, stat deboosting. So honestly, now that we actually have, like, one enemy, we can kind of focus it a little bit more like we normally do. Gonna go for full attack here. Okay, 147 damage isn't that much, but it's better than nothing. And Shinjiro actually finally got a new spell, by the way, which is Power Charge, which is actually nice to have, since, you know, he only had 2 abilities, and then he has, like, special abilities for himself. He has Counter Strike, if you're wondering, which, lets him attack back if someone attacks him physically, which is nice. Okay, and honestly, I'm gonna swap into a physical persona here, since I think this might be better, and I'm gonna go for Chernobog here, which is a persona I've been wanting to use in one of these episodes, in Persona in general, because I really like this persona. It's actually a really fun, like, little design, and it kind of reminds me of, like, the Grim Reaper in a way. Or, honestly, that's what I thought the Reaper, persona was before, and I did not expect you to actually, like, send out something like that, to be honest. Okay, interesting. Well, thankfully, I have, items that I don't get to use that often, so let me just find my revival bead real quick, and we'll revive Shinjiro. Of course, he goes for Shinjiro when he has Power Charge set up and everything. That's very nice of you. Okay, well, since we should be... Oh, wait, I forgot you had Recarm. Oops. Well, that would have been nice to actually use, since I completely forgot that was the case for you. Oh, Zyonga did not do bad for damage. That's nice. Okay, we're gonna go for Deathbound again, since we know that it actually does do some damage here, and it actually has a chance to crit, and it did.
Oh, alright, let's get some ass.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. And Shinjiro finally got his all-out attack, too. So now we're only missing, yeah, just Mitsuru now, so that's nice. Okay, cool. So once we finally get Mitsuru's thing, that's gonna be completely nice. And the only thing these Guardians seem to be weak to are the actual crits. So that's nice. I actually didn't know we can actually crit the, like, actual final ones, so that's actually nice to know. Interesting. I wonder if you can crit the final boss. That'd be kind of funny. I know you can crit, what do you call it? What was her name? Trying to remember it, because it's been a while. Come on, brain. not Elizabeth, but... Really? Yeah, I'll probably think about it later, but the conductor from Persona 4, you can crit her apparently, and I didn't even know that when I did her secret boss fight and everything, so it was definitely unfortunate, because I could have used that to my advantage apparently.
For some reason there are way fewer enemies in that area.
Well, we know that is due to the fact that, you know, there's no enemies when you get closer and closer to the next block, or the next blockage, because it's not the next block yet, since there's parts for all of the ones, which for some reason I don't understand why there was blocks for each and every one, because it is kind of weird if you really think about it, but it does make sense in some points and everything, to be honest, since it stops you from completely running through the entirety of it, to be completely honest. So it's probably good at the end of the day, but it is kind of weird sometimes, and I ended up getting the wrong one. Ooh, double ump. I never usually get this on video, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. So we got Dominions or Virtue. Don't know what happens when you get the one with the bullet hole, but I'm gonna guess that you probably get nothing and you lose everything. And maybe spawn the Reaper, but I'm honestly not sure. Because, yeah, it definitely would make sense since, you know, the Reaper is known for using guns. So, or at least in this game. So, definitely would make sense that it would do something like that, but it would also be scary. I've been waiting for this. Yeah, you have, Akihiko. Yeah, you have. Even though you haven't been, it hasn't been long since you've done that, but honestly, I'll let you have your fun since I definitely like your little weapons there, since, honestly, it's cool seeing, enemies, or not enemies, but allies use, fist-like weapons, because, honestly, I like the fist-like weapons in video games, so it's honestly cool to see that every now and again, since, you know, normally you don't see that in video games, so, yeah, it's definitely nice to see in general. Oh, and there's the stairs. Of course, it's the last place we checked. Very interesting, in fact, honestly.
The area doesn't have many enemies either.
Interesting. But we already know why. I'm surprised they even, like, I'm gonna skip by him, because this... Can you move? And it does seem like the green hue does take you here, because it was directly forward. So, okay. Interesting. And now, if you're wondering where I see the green hue now, it's right where Fuuka's, the middle of Fuuka's little screen there. I'll try and, like, stand still for a second so you guys can maybe see it.
There aren't many enemies there either.
Okay. So if you look kind of in the middle, you can kind of see, like, the pulse of the dark hour. And that kind of shows where it is, I guess. But I honestly think that's just the pulse of the dark hour in general. But, interesting. Very interesting, in fact. I'm gonna look into that, if that's actually the case, because I really am getting really confused by that.
This looks like the end. Good job, everyone. You can come back to the entrance now.
And let's see what the actual outside of the Siza block actually looks like. Interesting. Kind of looks like a clock tower in a way, I guess you could say, or like a top of, like, you know, like a scary looking building, honestly. And there's no, like, handrails or anything, so you can literally fall off if you're not trying, or if you're trying to. But obtained old document number 6, so let's read through the document real quick, and we'll end off today's episode, since we already know that, Fuuka's not going to tell us anything new, so, honestly, let's just go through the document, and then we'll end off today's episode. The electricity's hooked up, but why do they need so much? There's only a school on this island. Weird, Kirijo's Ergo Research Branch plans to build a lab on this island. I wonder what for. They built a research facility here. They want me to join the team, but I have a bad feeling. The team leader himself asked me himself. I was so surprised. It's the same man who once saved my life. I wonder who that man is, honestly, since we still don't know. I wanted to be with him, so I joined. What a mistake. We shouldn't be experimenting with these shadows. I knew it. These shadows arise due to human emotion. If I'm right, collecting them will. And we don't know from there. But, based on what I can maybe guess, because I said it before, is I think it might be Yukari's father, but I don't know for sure since we don't have an answer on who it is. Because the only people we know from the Kirijo group is Mitsuru's grandfather, Mitsuru's father, and then Yukari's father. So there's not many people to really go from. But it is definitely interesting, honestly. So Yeah, definitely weird and interesting, but honestly, I like it. I like that we're, like, learning about this place and kind of learning more and more about the Kirijo group. Even though they're pretty open about, or at least Mitsuru's father is pretty open about everything. But yeah, it's definitely interesting in general. But with that being said, that is going to be today's episode since, as we know, we're now at the end of the Size block for now, or at least part 1, and we'll be more than likely being able to go in there later. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all once we continue our normal activities outside of the Tartarus and the Dangers of the Dark Hour. So with that, thank you all for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.